We are live from the Excalibur in beautiful downtown Las Vegas, where myself and the Oracle will break down this brutal loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It seemed to me, even though the Raiders had the lead most of the game, they were playing catch up to Alex. It looked to me like what I saw. I'm going to go ahead and give you what I saw wholly and from the stadium and
Yeah.
from where I stand, and then you could go ahead and tell me what you saw from TV. So what I saw in the first quarter and throughout the whole game, when the Raiders were on defense, I was calling everybody. I was telling the guys that I was with today that it seemed like it was paper cuts,
Mm.
paper cuts. They would just get 5 yards, then they would get 4 yards. And the only time the Raiders really were helped out is that the sloppy play of Jacksonville by getting stupid penalties and getting a lot of penalties. The second quarter, in the second quarter, it just seemed like the Raiders, and I still think they are, trying to find their going now switching from the defensive side to the offensive side. It just seemed like as soon as they get Ashton Genty going, they want to do something else. They didn't commit to the run, and I'm gonna be pretty I'm gonna be kind of bated breath to see Pete Carroll's press conference. I'm sure he's already had it, but I haven't had time to get it to look at it to see if he's still pissed about not using the run more. Um, in the first half, it looked like Gino was just trying to find Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. They did not go to Trey Tucker. And from where John Souza was standing at the top of 246, Trey Tucker was wide open the whole game. He was open on crossing routes. He was open on deep zones. He didn't really do too many different kinds of like slants to the he was all of his routes were going to the middle of the field but going far. There was a skinny post on one play, wide open. He was open on the flat almost all the time in the flat when they were trying to get Brock Bowers the ball. They made a concerted effort to get Bowers the ball today, and I love it. I mean, today the Oracle made a beautiful point the other day that was echoed by a lot of people that watch the Raiders and watch football in general. That this guy's balance, and after the Oracle, not out of my advice, but out of Oracle's advice, I was watching his balance today, and if you watch that play, he made you look like a champ when he came down with his back onto the end zone for the touchdown. You can actually see he was pushing his back down to get in the end zone. Perfect balance the whole way through, one-handed catch. I mean, that's something that you just that you really recognize what you missed with him gone. So we'll get into do we give Gino a pass? I thought Gino played well at times. I thought Trevor Lawrence played well at times. So it was a mixed bag between both quarterbacks, in my opinion. Um, I'm going to finish with this, and then I'm going to ask you a quick question. You go backwards for me if you want. But it seemed like the Raiders had a lot more continuity when they were playing a little bit more up-tempo, schoolball, backyard type football, and Gino was more comfortable in that. Gino still is he's still looking his receivers down, although there was one play to Michael Mayer that he was looking behind Michael Mayer and threw it right to him, like the safety bit on the deep route, and he dropped it down below. But I'm going to ask you a question, Oracle. When you're watching the game from home, did it seem like that when the Raiders were up tempo, they were getting the ball out in the flat and into the open zones, and it was easier throws for Gino? Gino looked like he was hitting them on. In fact, Michael Mayer dropped the ball that was like right down the middle of for a first down at home, because I'm going to watch it. This when I get home tomorrow. What did you see? And then tell me what you saw all the way back to the defense that I started out with.
I thought Geno played really well for the most part. And let me emphasize for the most part. I thought he probably had a really good week of film study because when I saw him on TV this week, I thought he had some answers for when the Jaguars were in zone coverage. And I thought he did a really good job for the most part identifying the right receiver to get it to, whether it be Brock Bowers, whether it be Ashton Janty coming out of the backfield, Trey Tucker on a couple plays, and even Michael Mayer on a couple plays, a little bit of Jacoby Myers. So I thought he did a pretty good job of finding where the soft spots in the zone were and being able to get some short completions. I don't believe he really hit a deep ball in the game today. Now, obviously, the Jaguars really helped out the Raiders with a bunch of penalties, especially on the Jaguars' offensive line. They had a really hard time with false starts. I remember there was one play where Trevor Lawrence even kind of moved forward a little bit, and that caused them to get a 5-yard penalty. Yes. But unfortunately, the headline in whether it's in the Bay Area or whether it's in Las Vegas could have very easily been Raiders win and Brock Bowers 3 touchdowns. But unfortunately for the Raiders, they go in with a loss. And Brock Bowers, I don't know if you remember this. He could have easily had 4 touchdowns today because there was a play in the second quarter where he got down to the 1-yard line. Unfortunately, the Raiders weren't able to punch it in. They had to settle for a field goal there. But I thought there were a couple things that were the difference in the game. You know, at the very end of the second half, there was about 35 seconds left in the second half when the Jaguars got the ball. And the Raiders had a hard time with Parker Washington today for about the first 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter of the game is when they really got ETN involved. But with about 35 seconds in the second half, they give up a big play to Parker Washington. And then, unfortunately, Cam Little on the Jaguars sets the record for a 68-yard field goal. But let me ask you this, Johnny. If they would have had played a little bit of better defense on that half, would the game come down to a situation at the end of the game where the Jaguars tie it and we're going to overtime? That could have been a Raiders win. Maybe
or the Miss Carlson Field extra point. Okay.
Yes, that too.
I mean, that's huge. That now it becomes a 3-point to a 4-point game when you're trying to match touchdowns, and that was huge. And then again, that pass is what was on my boy Darian Porter, and from where I was looking, I thought he had the pick. He went up, and that ball was perfectly thrown by Lawrence, and it was just a beautiful play. A 68-yarder, and I mean,
wow.
Old Raider fans, if you remember this play back in the day, I think it was 99 when we beat the Arizona Cardinals on a last-second field goal, and we lost the Nick Bosa sweepstakes. So I don't want to lose. I don't. But I can tell you this. If this team's going to get better, there's holes everywhere. And I think that's what I want to push the show for today is we'll go over the tape on Friday for sure. But today, who did you think? Let's start in defense. What did you think about? Let's go with the positives at first. Did you like the match with Stokes and Porter? And then they were playing a little bit of a different safety. They had Polamalu come in, which made it look like they were only using 2 linebackers. Realistically, 1, because they were using Devin White, Jamal Adams, and then they were putting a safety back, and then they were using Polamalu as more like the John Lynch enforcer on the line, almost opposite of Jerry McChin. So it was almost like they were running 5 DBs back there.
Yeah.
Polamalu was kind of like that hybrid linebacker. That shows you that we needed to get Teddy Buchanan. But moving forward, Linebacker's a big spot on this team. It's a big hole, and it was very evident today.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought the corners played well. I thought Stokes, I didn't really see a big play where Stokes gave anything up. And I really like that Darian Porter's in there now. I think you had the Babe Ruth called your shot on that one. I'm glad that the coaching staff's listened to you, Johnny.
They did.
But,
They talked to me. We talked before the game.
Of course. They got a $2.99 hot dog as well. I'm sure.
I only had one today.
But anyways, I thought the bigger problem was the Jaguars got a lot of completions over the middle of the field. And whether it's Devin White in coverage, whether it's Jeremy Chin in coverage, yes. Polamalu. Now, Polamalu had the good interception down in the goal line where Trevor Lawrence was just looking his way the whole time. That was really a classic bonehead interception that Trevor Lawrence throws from time to time. Polamalu also in the first quarter when they ran that flea flicker had a nice pass breakup on that play too with him and Darian Porter. So I'm like,
Porter saw that because that was coming my way, and I saw Porter as soon as he saw the wide receiver. Was that Thomas that was there? Because I don't remember.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
But anyway, he didn't sell it very well because he kind of went and then boom, he was gone. Porter was on him the whole way, and Polamalu came from way out of left field to knock that down. Yeah. That was a beautiful play, and Polamalu is much maligned by myself. And you made a good point about Polamalu. Why don't you share that?
Well, I texted Johnny in the game. I'm like, hey, Polamalu with the pass breakup, and then he gets the interception. Hey, he's having a pretty good game. Maybe we're starting to have a little turnaround with him. But then, unfortunately, the second half of the game, especially in the fourth quarter when the Jaguars started getting the ball to ETN a lot more, I thought Polamalu's tackling was really lacking thereof. Now, Polamalu did everyone, whether it was Devin White on the touchdown where Trevor Lawrence they ran the quarterback draw. It was a two deep safety. The Raiders are playing two deep safeties, and when the ball snapped, the Raiders think it's passed, so they're rushing up the field. And then there's a wide open hole for Trevor Lawrence to run. And then Tootin, the running back of the Jags, all he has to do is get a block on Devin White. And Devin White gets blocked. And unfortunately, that's what really allows the touchdown right there. There was another play in the fourth quarter where the Jaguars run a toss to the left side with ETN. And this was right. I don't know if you guys remember this, but when Devin White threw a punch at someone on the Jaguars and cost the Raiders 15 yards. The next play, they run that toss play to ETN where Devin White gets blocked, Jeremy Chin gets blocked. That allows a lane for ETN to run through. And then Polamalu is in an opportunity to make a tackle, and he just doesn't make it. And then ETN's able to get a couple more yards out of it. The one thing I'm starting to realize with Polamalu is he had a really good play in the fourth quarter today where ETN gets the ball. It might have been a toss too, or it might have been a quick pass where Polamalu just comes flying in and makes the tackle. There are some guys that when they have a nice running start to the ball carrier, they're able to get the guy on the ground. However, when they have to make a tackle in the open field, that requires them to break down, have to diagnose how exactly am I going to go at the ball carrier. There's a little bit of mental processing involved to how you're going to attack. You're not just going in like a heat-seeking missile. And that can require some guys to get a little lost in how they're going to tackle a guy in the open field. And that's unfortunately what I see happen to Polamalu far too often.
So was Malcolm Koonce. There was a play right before the end of the half where the Raiders had the Jaguars at a 3rd and 3, and they did that pitch to ETN on the out, and then it was a great play call too, but he was isolated on Koonce. Koonce made the play, but then he went and chased instead of getting himself to move to have ETN go back into the play. So what he did is ETN just kind of pushed him, strong-armed him, and then went around and got the first down. And you have to, as Koonce has to understand that he's got to trust his guys coming back in pursuit. And it was just like he was chasing him all the way instead of making the angle. Koonce had a bad game. He looked bad.
Again.
He got blocked. And what did it look like to you on TV? Because from where I was standing, when the Raiders defense was, because I'm in the corner of the end zone, Raiders side, looking in, like slanting into the field, it just looked like to me, even Max Crosby was getting blown back 3, 4, 5 yards at a play, especially when ETN was running the ball, because he was doing a lot of shifty moves. And like it seemed like the Raiders were on their heels, and then they were just getting drove back. It looked to me like that the Jacksonville line today dominated.
Yeah, I think for the Raiders defensive line, starting with Max Crosby, for his standards, I think it was an up and down game. He did have the sack. He got his 5th sack on the season. There was a couple plays where he was able to get a TFL. I don't know if it was in overtime or if it was in the 4th quarter where he was able to get a TFL. He beat the left tackle Chuma Edoga.
Yeah, he came backside. Yes.
Yeah, however, there was a couple plays where he missed some tackles on the goal line. And, one thing I'm starting to realize with the Raiders is they're not doing a good job when they run four-man line stunts. And whether it's Lau, who's going to be the guy who picks the tackle, and then they have Crosby come around and go inside where he's one-on-one in the guard. Unfortunately, the Raiders just don't get any pressure that way. And look, I don't know how much of it is we're running stunts just to say we're running stunts, just to throw a little curveball at the defense. But at what time does Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham see and go, maybe this isn't working. We're just not getting pressure this way. And when they do that, and when Crosby gets picked up on these stunts, you really can't rely on any of these other guys to get pressure. It's not coming from Kuntz. It's not coming from Tyree Wilson. Lau didn't really make that big of an impact in the game. Thomas Booker didn't really do much. And then Adam Butler had a couple good plays in the run game. Unfortunately, in the 4th quarter, he had that one play where ETN caught a pass, and it looks like he was about to deliver a kill shot on ETN, but unfortunately he doesn't wrap up. And then ETN's able. That was horrible. That really killed the Raiders right there.
ETN was shedding blocks the whole game. He was. Yeah. He really looked good, but the line was. I really believe, and I think that Colin McDaniel, D line was crap. Need help on the interior. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
The problem is they do a great job on some of the runs at the first quarter, but then after that, it just seemed like they were out of position the whole time. And I know that they were doing that wildcat draw for a while. That wildcat, where Jacksonville was running a wildcat and either doing an RPO off that, and it just seemed like the line didn't know what to do. It was like, here we go. Here's what I want to see. I want the shit talking to start, and here we go. At least we didn't tie. You know what? We're going to break down a lot of tape this week. But you know what? Yeah. I'll tell you what. I didn't want to say anything to my guys because I wanted to get the touchdown first. But the whole time I'm going, okay, when they got the ball, there was 2 minutes and 35 seconds left. And I'm like, okay, they got to score quick, but not too quick because we already see it. And as soon as Bowers caught that touchdown, I immediately talked to my kids. I go, too fast, too much time. There was, like I said, it was paper cuts the whole day at the defense. You're just like, come on, 3rd down. It's 3rd and 10. I mean, and it was like 14 yards. 3rd and 10. It's like it was paper cuts all the way down the field. And then we got the lucky interception because Trevor Lawrence he got a lot of time today. His pocket was very, 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 very clean. He had no pressure on him. Yeah. But it just seemed to me that at the end of the game, we were going tit for tat with them. We missed the field. We missed the extra point. So we were, it's almost like going in the red zone and kicking 3. It's a horrible feeling when you miss that. And it's, it's going to come back to bite you. And it did. But Pete Foley, yes, at least we didn't tie. So when we scored that touchdown, and we'll talk about Brock Bowers to finish it here in a little bit, but I'm like, he's got to go for the win. Could you imagine him going for the tie with 10
No.
seconds left in the game?
No, absolutely not.
He would
No.
be castrated. And
Yeah.
again, if you don't win the game, maybe you get Nick Bosa. Okay. So I was telling my son that I go, hey, look, I hate to walk out of this place. I left my house at 4 this morning, and it's not about me, but what it is it's like it would be feel good to listen to some Raider radio on the way home tomorrow and say we won. But there's still a silver lining because I don't believe we're going to beat Denver on Thursday. It may be a good game, but I don't believe we're going to beat Denver. And then the Charles Grants and the Caleb Rogers, and we get Deontay Thornton back. And then I don't know what we do with Tyler Lockett. I don't know. There's way too many questions instead of answers, but I really would like to see the young guys play from now on. They didn't have Jack Besh out there at all. He got spanked.
No,
He did not. He got spanked because I'll tell you what. I was trying. I'll take a look at that this week, Alex. But he missed those inside zone blocks.
Yeah.
And they're the only way he's going to learn how to do that is if he gets more playing time and learns from it. I think Pete Carroll made a statement to the Raider young guys that you better come in here and play. Don't think you're going to candy ass it. And he did. What did you think of Jacoby Myers today? Do you think we're going to get a third now after this game?
No. I mean, I don't even think he had 30 yards in the game, but
made some nice catches.
I don't know his motive for playing in the game if he wants to get traded. Is this a showcase game? I mean, he's been in the league for like 6 years. Everyone has a pretty good understanding of how he is as a player. So if he wants to get traded, I mean, technically number one, he wants a new contract. He wants to get traded to a team that will give him a new contract. So he could have had a career-ending injury today. So I didn't really understand his motive when he's coming out and publicly stating that he wants to get traded. So look, if they could get a 4th-round pick for him by tomorrow or whatever the deadline is like Tuesday at noon, something like that, that would be great because clearly from what we've heard from him, he doesn't want to be here anymore. Now, I don't know if his tune has changed. I don't know if that had any reason of him being in the game today.
No, but as early as Friday, it was still the beat writers were asking the same questions and he was giving the same answers. So no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. But we're not going to talk about what we need. But in my opinion, for the next, what are we, 2 and 7? That's 9. So we got 8 more games. So for the next games, you're going to be making report cards for the rest of it. So if you're going to make report cards, let's get the young guys in there. They said that a lot of people were saying that if you're going to you wait till after this game and the Denver game to do it because, it's a short week. It's a Thursday night game. And we will be breaking it down on Tuesday. We'll talk about that later. But it's with the short week and then the travel to Denver, realistically, they're going to have a Tuesday practice and then they're going to be flying out Wednesday. I want to get that because I know Pete Carroll talked about getting acquainted to the air or lack of at Mile Stadium. So after this bye week, you're going to have 10 days. And now, Caleb Rogers, you're in. JJ Pegues, you're in. They got to do something. I mean, there's no reason. They drafted these guys 80 or 99 and 98 with those picks. And Teddy Buchanan, my boy, linebacker from Cal, who I was begging for because we didn't have a linebacker, was a 4th rounder. So there's a lot of work to be done. And I don't know where would you start, Oracle? You're the guy. You're GM. You're John. You're Spytech. What would you do? What would you do? What is your first half analysis of this team? What if you were going to if the season stopped today, where would you start at position wise?
Well, number one, there's just not enough good players on defense. I mean, who's the second best player in this defense after Max Crosby? Is it maybe Eric Stokes at this point?
Totally. Yes.
I would say so. Outside of at linebacker, Devin White's the guy playing the majority of the snaps, and he's hit or miss. So it would be nice if they could get another linebacker. It would be nice if they could get another safety. It would be nice if Jeremy Chin could play more towards the intermediate level of the field instead of playing the deep part of the field, because that's where he's played most of his career. Darian Porter, hopefully he could get going forward. So maybe Stokes and Porter could be the corners of the going forward. They need a slot corner. If they could get rid of Polamalu, that'd be ideal. If they could get another edge rusher, if the Raiders have a top pick in the draft, maybe do they go after Ronald Bain from Miami, who's probably the best non-quarterback in the draft? Now on the offensive side, definitely they need more linemen. They definitely need Colton Miller healthy. If JPJ could finish the season coming back strong, they could have Colton Miller and JPJ as two foundational linemen going forward. But outside of that, I think definitely they got to look to replace Jordan Meredith at center. They could definitely use an upgrade there. Weapons-wise, I think they're pretty good. I mean, you got Ashton Jeanty as your back. Brock Bowers is your best weapon in the passing game. That's two weapons. Trey Tucker is a good third option to have. And then who's going to be the fourth and fifth options? I assume they want to keep going with Michael Mayer, playing him a ton of snaps and be a 12 team, because I think having him and Bowers on the field together is a really good way for the Raiders to kind of establish their identity as a 12 team and really build around that. But outside of that, who's going to be the next receiver? It's not going to be Tyler Lockett going forward. Can Jack Besh really emerge as the number 2 receiver to Trey Tucker? So, I definitely think there's a lot of avenues that they could go in the offseason. I would definitely like to see them in free agency target a center, because if they're not going to play JPJ there, then get another guard to be able to replace them, because they definitely need more interior offensive linemen. If they could maybe find a replacement for DJ Glaze, maybe move DJ Glaze into the interior, that could be ideal. So I think
Great point.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, great point with that, because I got to talk to an ex-Raider player today, and we talked a little bit about Dylan Parham, and he didn't have a good game this game. I watched. He was missing blocks. From what I saw, it's tough to see where I'm going to see it, so I'm going to recant that. They don't think he's going to come back just because of his play, but the number one thing with this ex-Raider is that they have just not ever gotten better at the offensive line, and Colton Miller needs a replacement. They definitely do. But it's funny you said DJ Glaze go into guard, because the ex-Raider, he used to play for the Raiders, who was a lineman, said that they did the same thing with Frank Middleton back in the 2000s, and they moved him into guard. And when we were talking more and more about the offensive lineman, this guy was an ex-offensive lineman, said that he would think that moving DJ Glaze and Charles Grant inside was probably not a bad idea, and put him at guard at first so he could learn while Colton Miller is still playing left tackle. That was one of the things that he had said. And then here we go, Portuguese people, offensive line coach. Well, we're not firing anybody. We're not going to talk about coaches until the end of the year. But I'll tell you what, I got a shit list, and he's on it right now. Right now, in my opinion, and it's too bad, because he's not. The offensive line doesn't look cohesive at all, and they're the part I saw today, and it's tough for me to see because they're such big guys. I can only see half of the game to see the Raiders' backside, and that's when I saw Dylan Parham always kind of missing. And again, we talked about it last week, how he was doing a good job filling for the linebackers blitzing. But I'll tell you what, today his strong suit usually is run blocking, and he didn't have a good game. I can tell you, I saw 3 or 4 plays, but the Raiders have neglected their offensive line so long that's why Josh Jacobs is in Green Bay right now, because they might have thought he was the problem, and he wasn't. So I think that that's something that I would just fix. That would be the first thing I fixed. I heard Joe Alt got hurt today, but you know what? Look at what Harbaugh did. He went and got Becton, got Alt, and he had Slater, but that offensive line made Ladd McConkey and Herbert, Quentin Johnson. All of a sudden, these guys become relevant again, and that's kind of where I'm at with that with the offensive lineman. If I would see what we could do and see what we could get. There's about 3 or 4 possible free agents this year that are worth taking a look at. And I'm with you. I'm ready for a center.
Yeah, definitely. And look, as far as the Raiders go, I'll say this. I thought Brock Bowers today, it was really great having him back without the knee brace, and could have had 4 touchdowns today. My favorite play of the game was, I believe it was his second touchdown that he had in the fourth quarter. And it was Jakobi Meyers and Brock Bowers were on the right side. They were in a condensed set. And Jakobi Meyers and Bowers, they both take off vertically. And they're running what's called a dagger concept. So Jakobi Meyers is the inside receiver, so he's going to run a vertical route. Now, Bowers, as the outside receiver, initially runs a vertical route. He does a little stutter step, though, and then he takes off on a crossing route towards the middle. And the Jaguars had it in man, and Jakobi Meyers' vertical route was able to take his guy along with the guy that Bowers was supposed to be covering. They kind of bump into each other. So the guy, Monteric Brown, is covering Brock Bowers, and Monteric Brown is late getting over to Brock Bowers. And when he caught that pass, he just had another gear.
It's great.
It's amazing. It really is. So I was really happy to see him get on the field today. And really, he was able to remind us what kind of player he was of last year. And going forward, whether it's him and Ashton Jeanty on the field together. And I was really happy to see Geno. The Jaguars ran a cover 0 look where they blitz 6 guys, and the free safety who's playing deep has Ashton Jeanty in man. Geno's able to pick it up very quickly that the deep safety is covering Ashton Jeanty. He's able to get the ball out to him, and the safety has to make a one-on-one tackle on Ashton Jeanty. Jeanty makes a miss, and then he takes it to the house. So a lot of good things for the Raiders today. I think Chip Kelly, there was a lot of heat on him in the earlier part of the season. I do think that he's able to make some adjustments working with Geno together to really dial up some good plays in the quick passing game, because unfortunately they weren't really able to get it going on the ground today, but they definitely had some answers in the quick passing game to keep them in this game.
Do you think that's because the defense was on the field for just like we were in Kansas City, the paper cut drives, long and ow, and they're not – it's just cut and cut and cut and 5 yards and 7 yards, and it was bad. Yes, and I agree. There was the tackling today was just horrible. And yeah, I'm with David. He's actually saying the same thing I'm saying. It's just, I called it the paper cuts, and it's just, so you have Geno and the offense come out after they had a 3 and out on the Jags. They come out, they get a first down, and then they stall. And they give the ball back. And then there's that long 12-play drive all the way down, and then Polamalu gets the interception. But your offense is not getting any continuity. They're not on the field. So at the end of the first quarter, I believe the Raiders had another 5 plays. Now you go back to Kansas City, and you've got 35 plays in 5 quarters. 35. Yeah. That's 7 per quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ashton Jeanty in the first quarter only had the ball twice. So, I want to go ahead and move to the last part of this segment. Let's see. Kelly called a great game. I'm not going to – I don't hate it. I mean, you got to remember, the other team's playing football too. Okay,
Yeah.
uh, they're playing football, and they when you do run that 12 personnel, and Bowers and Mayer are not great blockers. Let's get that through everyone's head.
No.
They're not. That's not what they're out there for. That's why Ian Thomas comes in and does that. And what a nice little throw to Ian Thomas, sneaking him out after a chip. But got to remember, these guys, both of them, need to get better on their blocking, and I think that comes along with getting a couple of Mekhi Bectons in there to help us in the offseason. That'll straighten itself out. Chip Kelly, I thought, whether it was by design or by Geno Smith getting to the outlet pass to Genty or to Jacoby or to Mayer, I thought that whatever it was, it was a good call. It was good plays. I don't hate the offense today. That's all I'm going to say. I don't hate it. I don't know if Geno's our quarterback for the future. He'll definitely be there next year because, I mean, he's got an $18 million hit. Signed a $58 million contract where $40 million was this year. So he's 18 and a half.
Let me ask you this. I saw on Twitter that when he came out and they announced him today, that there were boos. How loud were the boos in the stadium today when he got
Not
announced?
loud, but there was boos. I'm not
Okay.
And there was a little bit more boos in the third quarter when it was only 9-6, and they came out and did a 5 and out or a 6 and out. What it was like, look at 401 Raider Jeff. This is therapy session for today. This shit's been going on for like 6 weeks now.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to talk. Well, look, the Oracle.
Hey, just make sure he knows we're cash only, okay?
Yeah. What did I hear last night? I heard something anyway.
We don't take insurance.
Look, it was a better showing than previous games. Yeah, but I don't always want to be that guy that's going, yeah, we're getting better. There's got to be a jump here soon. Today was a nice jump. If you go into Denver and beat them, which I highly doubt because that defense, that would have to be a very, very good game by Geno and Brock Bowers. Here, look at this guy. I'll be hosting tomorrow nights. Attaboy, Jeff.
Oh yeah. Hey, we'll tune in.
Tell me, we'll definitely pimp your ride, but
yeah.
But I want to see us get better. But I think that when I was watching today, we need an offensive line to get this guy Ashton Genty. And look at today, I went ahead and made my first.
Oh, nice. Look at you. Look at you. Hey, looks like a schmedium on you too. That fits you well. You should see this Jim Otto jersey I have. It looks like a dress on me.
So this guy is our future. Brock Bowers is our future. Let's figure it out. Figure it out. Anything that you want to say before we go there, Oracle?
Well, I will say this. Trevor Lawrence, apparently he was sick last night. Liam Cohen said after the game that he was throwing up all night, and he was pale as a ghost when he saw him this morning. So I thought for someone who was feeling that poorly coming into the game, I thought he played pretty well. The other thing I'll say about Geno is he did a pretty good job escaping some pressures a little bit. Now, Josh Allen's a pretty good pass rusher for Jacksonville, and there were a couple times where they were able to sack Geno, and I think at the end of the half they got a sack on him, or no, it was at the end of the fourth quarter where Josh Allen got a sack on Geno, and Josh Allen became the all-time sack leader for the Jacksonville Jaguars in their illustrious history that they have. Now but I thought Geno did a pretty good job of escaping a lot of pressure and finding some ways to either get rid of the ball or find some open receivers. The one unfortunate thing is he had another bad interception today where
it was right in front of us.
It was cover 2. Geno staring right at Michael Mayer. The corner in cover 2 who's covering the flat, Geno's able to see him squat pretty much immediately. and he's looking right at him. So I didn't really quite understand where Geno thought he had an open receiver there. So,
Yeah.
and that gave the
He was
Jaguars.
trying to fit that ball in for sure.
Yeah, but
They showed it. They showed that play because at the Raiders Stadium they don't show a lot of replays, but they did show that one
interesting.
because the Raiders were kind of trying to say that Mayer caught it first and then it was taken away from him, and it was like no. You could see it was a clear pick, and they kept showing it, and he tried to fit that thing in. It was bad, but no, that was a bad one, and that cost us 3 points. Again, 3 points, and your missed PAT. It's so hard to win in this league.
Yeah.
But David Frey, the special teams let us down again one time, and it was and it was the one bad time because I was ready to get highlights on this on one of the Bergs on special teams number 55, Lindenberg. Wow, is he a special teams maestro, man? This guy.
Yeah.
I was watching him because a lot of the kickoffs were away from me, and I was watching him come down. It was just to me that Mostert had a great.
He did. Yeah, he had two good returns in the game. The one in overtime, I think he had one in the third quarter, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yeah, he looks good.
And then in overtime, now it was interesting that this overtime. Now we have new overtime rules. Before it used to be if you got a touchdown, if you were the team to receive the ball and you got a touchdown, game over. However, now even if you get a touchdown, the other team still gets the ball and they're able to get a touchdown as well. The Jaguars come out and they win the toss and they act to receive the ball, kind of like they're playing under the old overtime rules. I think they did that because they saw how worn down the Raiders defense was. Yep. And they're like, okay, we're going to come out, get the ball, and we're going to paper cut them again. And that's exactly what they did. And it was a good strategy by Jacksonville. More often than not, I think a lot of teams would want to defer the ball and want to play defense first. But in this situation, I think it was a good call by the Jaguars to go out and let the Raiders play some defense and just get even more tired. And that's where they really got ETN involved. They got Tootin involved in the run game. So that was a pretty good strategy by the Raiders. As far as special teams goes, on the one return where Jacksonville got in overtime, where it was, I think his name is Austin Trammell, who got the good return. Zion McCollum, I think his name is, what's his first name? McCollum?
Yeah. He just came, I think it's Tyrone McCulloch.
Yeah, he's number 27. His last name is McCullough.
He played a lot of safety today.
He did. He did play a lot of safety today. Now, he plays on a lot of special teams plays. He's really the one that gave up was responsible for the big return because he missed the tackle. Now, he also came out when Mostert took the ball. So he's also on the kickoff return team too. And he was able to get a nice block on someone on the Jacksonville Jaguars that really sprungboard the big return for Mostert in overtime.
I love Mostert. And that's what I mean. You heard me for the first. Why is Zamir White in and Mostert in? So anyway, so guys, we will talk with you. This is going to be the week. Oracle, are you good for Thursday after game?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. Phelps Euler, this is my guy. I've known Phelps ever since we are little babies. Phelps, look at this. He's always positive. I love this kid. Not the outcome we wanted, but at least we competed today. Absolutely. Now let's go on the road and compete. You know what? I would love to win on Thursday, but if we play this game and it comes down to we're going for a 2-point conversion in overtime against Denver and we don't get it, that's the Nick Bosa thing. That's what I'm going to call it, the Nick Bosa loss, okay? Then we can call it the Nick Bosa loss, and we can hang our hats and go, okay, check, he played good. Check, Brock Bowers played good. Check, Ashton Jeanty played good. Okay, so what are we doing? What are we doing for those guys? Oh, we'll bring in Jermaine Illuminar and Greg Von Roten. No. Well, and again, I got a shit list, or as my brother would say in Exodus, you're on my blacklist. And right now, I don't have the blacklist of Spytek. He's on it just because I want to see what he's going to do. He's not going to get off my blacklist until he gets on my good list.
Yeah.
Same thing with Pete Carroll. He's on my blacklist right now. He hasn't proven to me that this team can play tough every game or every other game or a road game. I mean, you're going to play Denver. Denver does not fuck around. I screw around.
No, they're good.
Denver's good. And just remember, folks, 2 years ago, Denver got rolled by Miami 60-something to 17. And that's when they went out and said, okay, we need this. We need this. We need this. And then, okay, let's talk about this guy real quick. And then we're out.
Patrick Graham?
I'm done. I'm done with him. I'm done. And today I watched the dynamic between those two, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's in his ear the whole game.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
I don't know if that means that he's telling him what to run or he's telling him what he's seeing. I did see Pete Carroll again today, bring Polamalu out and talk with him on timeouts. Which usually is something that I see the D coordinator do. I don't want to make clickbait TMZ shit there, but that's what I saw today. Take out of it what you can take out of it. I saw that. It was right in front of me. And then Colin, good night, guys. Late here. Hey, man, thanks, Colin. Thank you.
Thanks, Colin. In. Appreciate it.
Very much appreciated. Guys, we're going to call this a wrap because Johnny just had one hot dog today.
Oh.
God. And then here's your favorite guy.
Oh, what's up, Husk?
Pete is frustrated. If anybody saw his press conference, I'm going to have. So now we're done talking about the Raiders. I'm done. Let's talk about food. So tonight, if you guys want to know, let's see. Oh, look, I can see the likes going up. Tonight, I'm going to Baja Fresh. Because I'm going to have a burrito. What are you going to have tonight, Oracle?
Well, I'm going to stay here at the house. I might heat up a pizza in the air fryer. So, but who knows? I might, with me, I am very probable to slip on over to In-N-Out Burger at when the sun goes down, the In-N-Out comes out in me. And I love me some Thousand Island sauce. I may even get a protein style. I may even cut the carbs out at night. It was funny. I was listening to you and Captain Jack the other day. And Captain Jack, at the very beginning of the podcast, started talking about his diet at first. So not only do you get great Raiders analysis when you listen to Captain Jack, he could even be your dietitian as well.
So you did hear that? Did you hear when I
heard that, baby. Yeah.
He was
Captain Jack's cutting out the sugar.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, if I was a betting man, and I am a betting man starting today. I was a betting man. And look what I did. This is great. Look at Husk. You guys you got to meet Husk. Look at Husk.
I do.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. No, definitely Husk. I agree.
Look at this, guys. There's no money in here.
No money.
Oh, there is money in there. Hey.
I
didn't know where that. Oh, that's right. Uncle Alan paid me.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Did you see what that says?
It says to collect $114.55, straight bet, first half, Chargers, Titans. Is that an over-under on the first half? Or?
-5.5.
Oh, okay. So the Chargers covered that game, right?
That's what that is.
Yeah.
I got a ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Winner.
Yeah. Hey, did you happen to see the end of that Bears-Bengal game?
I did.
That was insane.
That was a fun game. I'll tell you what.
That was a fun game. Yeah.
Ben Johnson's got Caleb throwing touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean he's got Caleb catching touchdowns too, and unfortunately, talk about bad tackling. The Bengals had some really bad tackling at the end of the game too, where they just weren't able to get Colson Lovin on the ground, and he was able to run it in the end zone.
Yeah, who's going to be the fall guy for that this time? Can't be that Lou Anafermo, whatever his name,
Yeah,
Anaramo that went to Philly. I saw that the Colts lost today to the Bergs.
they got killed. No, they to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, to the Bergs. Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Oh, the Bergs. Oh, I think you said the Birds.
Wow, I saw that, and
They
then
got
I
killed.
saw
Yeah,
what else did I see? That was Detroit lost.
yeah, it's in Minnesota. Yeah,
How
nice
did
game for
how
JJ
did
McCarthy coming back.
how did
He
JJ
looked good.
McCarthy look?
He looked good. Yeah, he did.
He looked
So
confident. There was a couple of plays where he was up and he was laughing at the Detroit lineman, and then he threw a touchdown pass. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
We need a JJ McCarthy. Although I'm not saying I like JJ McCarthy, but we need a young guy in here. Did
yeah.
you happen to watch any of the? We can go into our little. Did you watch any college yesterday?
I watched a little bit. Yeah, I was. I didn't get
Did
to
you
watch.
watch Fernando?
I did not watch. I saw he played well though he played Maryland, so you expect him to play well. I'll tell you what though, I think I'm excited to see Ty Summers out of Alabama. I think he
Ty
might be the best
Simpson.
quarterback. Ty Simpson, I'm sorry. I think he
Yeah,
might
Ty
be the best
Simpson.
quarterback in this class.
Well,
So I'm excited to see him play next week.
Well, he was a great high school quarterback, and you know what I
Yeah.
like about the kid Ty Simpson a lot is he is a tough kid, and
Yeah.
he's not a rah at all.
No.
He is what you would call one hell of a what he puts his he's got an A mentality. He is not a passive. He's not like a Justin Herbert. It's hard for me to say who he's mostly like because I haven't seen a quarterback like him in a while. Very, very tough kid, and I like that about him. And if we keep doing the Nick Bosa games, we may have a shot at him.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say this. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Bo Nix in a way. Son of a coach, tough kid, could run a little bit, maybe not as mobile as Bo Nix, but I think I think Simpson throws the ball pretty well. The other thing from yesterday, I did get this. I saw the highlights of Arch Manning versus Vanderbilt. He looked pretty good there. The Oklahoma-Tennessee game was pretty good, where Oklahoma got the win there. I think John Mateer, he was hurt for a little bit, but the more he kind of goes in, I'm a little excited to see him. He actually reminds me a little bit of Jalen Hurts in a way, just because he's an easy runner. He looks very natural. When he's running. Yeah, just kind of glides out there, and he's smart, knows when to cut certain ways, knows when the blocks are going to come in. He's able to kind of hesitate a little bit. And then I saw Utah spank Cincinnati.
I saw that. And you know what? And they were trying to pump that quarterback. Did you see our boy Tristan Kuhn was all over him last week, and I got to watch that game, and I'm done. I'm okay. I mean,
yeah.
It wasn't impressive at all. Deontay Moore, is he a senior?
I believe he might be. He's either a senior or junior. I can't remember.
Okay, well, I'm going to check that out because he's not ready. He's not ready yet.
Yeah, I would say he's behind Mendoza and Simpson right now. But who knows? Maybe if he's able to have a big game, I don't know if he's going to play in the Big Ten championship game. It looks like that's going to be between Ohio State and Indiana. I don't know how
that's going to be a game.
Yeah, that is. I can't wait for that. So,
yeah. And then how about your boy Diego Piava? What do you think? He kind of messed up the bed yesterday.
Yeah, not his best game. Not his best game. And he's an older player too. He's kind of like the New Orleans Saints starter Tyler Shaw. Because Tyler Shaw is like a 25-year-old rookie, and I think Pavia is up there as well. I think this is like
Bo Nix was a 25-year-old rookie too.
Yeah, that's true. But
he was an older guy. But anyway, well, all right, Oracle. We will have a
one more thing. Any comments on the World Series?
USA. Here you go. I'll give you a grade. The Dodgers were great. They played really great. I mean, I've never seen them play more more great in my life. I mean, the Blue Jays were good, but I mean, being in the 51st state, it's like I don't care about. I was like, the A's weren't in it, and
Yeah.
the Padres weren't in it, so I thought it was one heck of a game and one heck of a series. That was
Yeah.
a blast.
That was a
And
blast.
your unusual suspects for the Dodgers won the game for him.
Yeah.
Our boy Josh will be happy on Wednesday night.
Definitely. Yeah. It'll be definitely nice to see him
It'll be
and
definitely-
see everything, all his unfiltered analysis that I'll have on it. I'm sure he'll be very cordial and respectful about everything. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, no, it was, it's funny. You say USA. When you see that Dodger team, it's like half USA, half Japan. But
oh my God, they love him, don't they? And
Yeah.
you know what? And go ahead. If you're a Raider fan and you hate me for saying that, too bad for you. But what Ohtani has done for baseball is great. And when
yes,
you can bring anybody to watch this great game of baseball, our national pastime is great. It's a beautiful thing. I don't care if you're Dominican, whoever, whatever you are. Hey man, you know what? I think sports doesn't see colors, and I love that.
no,
But you know what else I love about sports is that it also takes somebody like Taylor Swift, and now my granddaughter will tell me my prop bets.
nice, yeah, definitely.
I'll go, Sydney, how many times do you think they're going to show Taylor Swift on the Super Bowl? Oh, Papa, they're going to do this. And she nailed every one of them.
Wow.
What's beautiful about that is that this girl brought another style of football fan in. And I know the Raiders hate the Chiefs. And you know what? You wouldn't hate it if Taylor Swift was dating Max Crosby. You would think it was the coolest thing. Taylor Swift would have like AI tattoos on every one of her posters and stuff like that. But a person like that has brought, like what Ohtani is bringing to Major League Baseball, positive viewership. It's cool. It's really, really cool. And I don't know. As far as baseball goes, I've never seen a player like him before in my life. I don't think the last guy that I thought was close to that was Dave Winfield, in a small sample, but he didn't even pitch, and he wasn't even really just a guy who would just dominate the plate. You didn't want to play, Randy Johnson as a pitcher, guys like that. But if you took Dave Winfield and Randy Johnson and put them together, that's a pretty good Ohtani. That's how good this guy is. So if you guys are young, hey man, I snapped my eyes and Michael Jordan was gone. I snapped my eyes and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson were gone. I snapped my eyes and the Bash Brothers were gone. It's like you got to really enjoy these kind of players when they come around because it doesn't last long. It really doesn't. So, all right, Oracle, I will see you on Thursday after the Raiders beat the Broncos.
Sounds good.
Or the Nick Bosa sweepstakes.
All
right, dude. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you on the way home tomorrow. Hey guys, thanks for everybody. Thanks for everybody coming.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
You don't even know all the viewers we got right now. It's great. I guess when the Raiders win, everybody's pretty pissed, but we're not gonna piss on the Raiders Cheerios. That's my team, and I will. And when they turn it around, guys, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we can all say we were there. And I know who you are. All right, guys. Good night now.
Good night now.
Now it's Siani to the left. Biletnikoff to the right against Marsalis. Back is Lamonica. Throws for Biletnikoff. Touchdown Raiders! Biletnikoff is having words right now with Marsalis. Fred caught that ball after quite a physical battle with Marsalis in the right corner of the end zone. He went on out of the end zone, and then instead of slamming the ball into the turf, he ran back in about 10 yards to where Marsalis was and defiantly slammed it in the turf in front of Marsalis. The two tight ends are lined up as tight ends. Back goes Darrell to pass. He's looking for Smith, but instead goes down the middle. Chester, touchdown Raiders! Holy Toledo, what a great ball! 19 yards and a Raider touchdown to make it 22-3. Chester had gotten free at the 5 and was all alone in the end zone 2 yards in. The Chargers now have a brilliant opportunity to put this game away. Here's Williams to the left, Garrison to the right, flanks right, Charlie Smith out to the left as a wingback, leaves only one back to block, that's Hubbard. LaMonica back, gets fine blocking, now he throws down the middle, Branch at the 20. Branch at the 18, tripped up, keeps going, reverses to the 15, he's at the 10, he dances down to the 9-yard line. First and goal to go Raiders. 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go, and hang on to your hats. Branch is still in. He goes to the right, slotted inside Biletnikoff. 5 defensive backs in there. LaMonica gives to Smith, sending him to the left. He's got Upshaw in front. He's at the 5. He's at the 2. It's a touchdown Raiders! Charlie Smith from 9.5 yards out. Oakland has gone in front. Clarence Davis is in for Charlie Smith. He's a deep threat on pass reception. Back goes Stabler to pass, steps away from the rush. He's going to run up the left side. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Touchdown, Oakland Raiders! I'm sorry I've lost my voice. Kenny Stabler goes all the way, 30 yards.